Hello everyone, my name is Olivia Wolf and I'm the Program Director at the Findlay YMCA. Today for our activity, we are going to be reading a book called Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. We have our little pigeon friend here with us, who also talks. And then we will also be completing a little pigeon craft after we are all done reading our book. But first, we are going to read our book. It says, "Hi, I'm the bus driver. Listen, I've got to leave for a little while, so can you watch things for me until I get back? Thanks. Oh, and remember, don't let the pigeon drive the bus." I thought he'd never leave. Hey, can I drive the bus? Please. I'll be careful. Pigeon, you can't drive the bus. I'll tell you what, I'll just steer. My cousin Herb drives a bus almost every day. True story. Vroom, vroom, vroomy, vroom, vroom, vroom. Pigeon at the wheel. No, Pigeon, you can't drive the bus. No, I never get to do anything. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's play Drive the Bus. I'll go first. No, Pigeon, you can't drive the bus. Come on, just once around the block. I'll be your best friend. No, Pigeon. How about I give you $5? No, Pigeon. What's the big deal? It's just a bus. No fair. Sorry, Pigeon. I bet your mom would let me. I'm sorry, Pigeon. I have dreams, you know. Fine. Let me drive the bus. I'm back. You didn't let the pigeon drive the bus, did you? Nope, I didn't let him. Great. Thanks a lot. Uh-oh. Bye. Hey. And that is the end of our book. So now that we have finished reading our book, we are going to make our pigeon craft. So before we get making any part of the craft, I want to show you what you will be using today. So I used a paper plate. This is it cut in half, but I used a paper plate for his body. I used a glue stick, but you can also use regular glue if you don't have a glue stick. I used tissue paper, and I used a bunch of different kinds of markers. And then I also have a pair of scissors I will be using. And as we go throughout this, I will explain different things that you can use if you don't have these items at home. But to start, I want to show you what I've done so far. To save a little bit of time, I pre-colored my paper plate, so it used to be white like this, and I just colored it blue. And then I put on a few pieces of tissue paper just to make it look like he's all fuzzy like in this one. So what I can do is show you how I cut these out and then how I glued them onto the paper plate. So first what I did is I took my tissue paper And if yours is folded up like this, it'll you can cut it the way I'm going to show you, but if not, just try to get it into a rectangle or square shape. And then I cut about a 1-inch piece all the way down. It's kind of on this folded edge here. That's about the thickness I made it. And then I cut the little pieces into little squares about this size, about 1 inch around. And then what I did for the paper plate is I took a piece of tissue paper and I put the marker right in the middle of the piece of tissue paper and folded the piece of tissue paper over top of the marker, almost like I'm covering the bottom of the marker, like this. And then you'll take some of your glue stick and put glue over all of the blank portion of your paper plate. Once you get each piece of tissue paper rounded up, you'll just stick them right onto your paper plate like that. So you'll do that for each square. Now, if you don't have tissue paper at home, you can use, this is just an example of something else I could have used. I have these little colorful pom-poms. Oops, there goes. I have these little colorful pom-poms that you could use as well, and you could glue those on there and they would stick pretty well, as you can see with that one there. I'm going to take it off before it dries, but it would stick on there well. And then if you also don't have pom-poms at home, you could use cotton balls as well. And there will actually be a little portion in the description of this video on how you can make your own colored cotton balls at home so that they aren't just white. And it'll just be like a little recipe on how to do that. So look for that in the description if you have cotton balls at home. Once you have all of your tissue paper finished putting on there, it should look something like this. And I colored in the background so that it would match the color of the paper. I have a few places where there's kind of a little bit of gaps. You can't really see it though, probably from there, but just feel free to put on as much paper as you would like to cover up your plate so that he looks nice and fluffy. Also, you don't have to use the blue like I'm using. I just decided to use the blue because I had these colors to match the pigeon, but you can make it any color you would like. You could make it like a gold color to make it look like a little chick for Easter if you'd like, whichever you prefer. So now what we are going to do is we are going to make the head and the beak for the pigeon. To make the head, what I did is I drew on the other half of my paper plate that I cut in half a shape that kind of resembles like a light bulb. It doesn't have to perfectly match the shape I have here, but just something that kind of looks like a light bulb. And then I cut that out. From my paper plate. And then once I finish cutting that out, I'm just using one of my blue markers that I have to color in his face. Once you have them all colored in, then you can use the rest of your paper plate to make another smaller circle, or just a plain circle, to make his eye. So I just took my scrap piece of plate and drew a circle, and I'm going to have that be his eye. And then towards the middle of the circle, I'm going to draw a black dot for his pupil. Just like this. I'm going to take that piece and glue it onto here, just like so. And then his eye is all done. From that same scrap paper, I am also going to make his beak. So I'm going to draw a yellow triangle on the piece of scrap paper plate for his beak. Once I have it all cut out, then it should look something like this for you too. And then I'm going to glue that on. And then he has his beak. And at this point, the only other thing we need to do is glue on his neck, or his head and neck, right here. Whoops. Glue on his head and neck right here. And then while that is drying, you can use the rest of your scrap pieces of paper plate to make legs. So what I did is I just drew two lines. I drew 2 lines on this piece of scrap paper for his legs. And then I'm going to thicken those up a little bit so that when I go to cut them out, it's a little bit easier for me to cut the legs out. But before I do that, I'm going to add some feet for him at the bottom. And you can do it on a completely separate paper plate if you would like, but I'm just going to use the last little remaining pieces of the paper plate I was using before to cut this out. Once your legs are all cut out, they should look something like this. And then you can just glue them on to your pigeon at the bottom here. So I'm putting glue on the back of my paper plate again. And then I'm simply sticking the legs on there. And then I'll just hold them in place there for about a minute so that they can dry. But once they're all dry, our craft that we just made will look just like our pigeon example. And there's other little details too that you could add. You could add in some eyelashes onto your pigeon if you would like. You could add in like a little tail if you wanted. I added some eyelashes to show you. But really, that is how you make the main part of the pigeon. And that is all we have today for our craft. Thank you so much for watching our videos, and stay tuned to our Facebook page for more videos. Thank you.